Holly from Flow Movement Therapy, where we help active people just like you with hard to resolve injuries get your lives back by teaching you to move better. Today is our second in our series of 4 videos on the most common things that people come to me for in the clinic in terms of foot problems. And today we're talking about bunions and big toe pain. So today we're going to talk about what a bunion is and different ways that it could be forming, and then we're going to talk through an exercise that can help you restore the movements so that we're putting less pressure on those bunions and hopefully not having them continue to develop and cause you pain. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what a bunion is. And I have my handy foot model, my plastic foot model here that helps us describe what's going on. Now, a bunion, as we know, anyone who suffers from a bunion, that is the painful growth of extra bone that happens here at our big toe joint. So our body is very clever, and anytime that we use a bone or a tissue, a muscle of any kind more, we put more there. You go to the gym, your bones and your muscles get bigger because we're doing more with them. So your body is putting more bone in a place where you're putting more pressure. And we know with a bunion that that pressure is happening and pushing that toe joint in towards the other toes, and that your clever body is putting more tissue here to put up with what we're asking it to do. And a bunion forms for a couple different reasons, but mostly it's because of a missing movement somewhere else in your body. So if something isn't moving somewhere, something else has to do the work for it. And if the movements aren't happening further up in the body, often the big toe joint ends up doing the work, and we end up getting a bunion there. So I'll talk about 2 different things that might be going on that are causing a bunion, and there are many different ones, but here's just 2. One of them is that we have a flat foot. So our foot has all the pressure dumped into the inside here with our arch dropped down to the ground. So if that's all with the arch drop down to the ground, all the pressure is being put there on towards your big toe joint. And all of that pressure is going to push the big toe in towards the others and build up a whole bunch of bone there to deal with the fact that it's always being put in this position. If all the pressure is being put there, your body builds more bone to deal with that. And then that's going to be associated with a whole bunch of stiffness and pain, and it's frustrating. Definitely it's frustrating. So that's one way, is by having all of the pressure being put into that place and causing the displacement of that toe. The other can be that something isn't moving somewhere else in your body. So if we have the joints up here in your foot are locked up and they're not able to move, then the movement is being asked to be done further down, and often that's in your big toe joint. And that creates that bunion here, where we're asking this joint to do all of the work, and then it's your body, your clever body, is putting more bone there to deal with what's going on. But of course, that stuck joint doesn't need to be in the middle of your foot here. It can be way further up the chain. Often as far up as into your rib cage or into that part of your spine. So something isn't moving, something else is moving. So one of the things that I see often is that there's a certain type of movement that happens in the way we walk that can exacerbate our bunion. And with people with bunions, I see this really common. So what I want to do is talk through that one exercise with you today. Before I do that, I want to encourage you to like my video. If you like what you see, please give a like so that I know and I keep making more. And if you want to subscribe, you'll know when a new video drops on my channel. And if you like this kind of stuff or have a friend who can really use some foot TLC, please share. I would love to be able to help a new person every single day. So let's move on to our exercise. What I notice in clinic, and when I'm observing people walking around all the time, is that people who have bunions have a very specific type of movement that they do when they have their foot behind them when we're walking along. So when we're walking along, when one foot is in front of the other, as we bend this leg, what I'm observing is something that's happening under your back leg. And I want to see first, before I tell you what that is, I want to see if that's happening for you. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is be in a stance where it's the length of a regular step for you. So we're not doing a lunge, we're not doing yoga. It's just a regular size step for you. And I'm going to encourage you to shift your weight forward and bend your front knee. And as your heel comes at the back, I want you to observe what's going on there. So we're just going to shift your weight forward and just go back and forth there. And as soon as you feel nice and stable, I want you to look down at your back leg. And I want to see particularly what's going on in terms of where the weight is in your back foot as you shift forward. People with bunions tend to do this very specific pattern, which is to put all the weight onto their big toe as they shift their weight forward. So if that's what you are observing, and I'll do that to the side here, as I shift my weight forward, the weight is all going into my bunion side, all into the big toe. And if I go this way, it's all dumping into that big toe. And that's just the pattern that you have that is locked into your body for whatever reason your clever body has decided to do. So what we want to do is take that pressure off of the big toe and distribute it more equally, so a more equal opportunity to the rest of your toes to be able to help you with the propulsion of your body forward. So in that same stance, what we want to do is I'm going to encourage you to keep your big toe and little toe, the balls of those toes, down on the ground as you shift your weight. Think about bringing your belly button over the middle of your foot at the front. And just see if you can encourage the big toe and little toe balls of those to stay down on the ground. And that may be unusual, weird, confusing, take a bit of thought for you to do, but I want to encourage to see if you can get that happening. And often people with bunions will do this. They'll turn the foot out to try to do that. So that's another pattern that happens. So let's see if we can keep your feet facing straight forward and keeping the ball of the big toe and little toe down on the ground. And just see if that's a different experience for you. At the same time, one of the other common patterns that I see is this knee will bend as you shift your weight forward and all of the weight goes into that big toe joint. So I want to encourage you as you shift your weight forward to see if you can get that knee to straighten at the back. So we have a straight knee and the big toe and little toe balls of those stay down on the ground as you shift your weight forward. And that can take a little while for you to figure that out. It will take a number of days, a number of weeks, maybe months for you to be able to rewire this into your body to take the pressure off of that bunion. And make sure we do to both sides the width of a regular step for you, so no big yoga poses or lunges. Squaring up your feet to the front and then just seeing what happens. Is it this pattern where you dump all the weight into your bunion side, or can you keep contact with the big toe and little toe balls of those toes with a straight knee as you shift forward? So I encourage you to play around with that. That's one of the several things that I would do for people who have bunions and big toe pain. And I hope that that was useful for you with the second of our 4 videos on foot pain and most common things I see in clinic. Again, please like, please subscribe so you know when my videos go up, and please share with anybody you know who can use this information. And again, if you want to work with me, you can see me at Tanumi Integrated Health in Vancouver, and if you're anywhere else other than the Lower Mainland, I work online. You can find me at flowmovement.ca, and we can set up a Zoom appointment and we can work on this or any other movement dysfunctions that you want to work on. Thanks again. Thanks for watching.